Hey everyone, it's Ron, and today I'm going to be reviewing issue 6 of House Atreides. For those of you who don't know, this is an adaptation of the first Dune prequel book, written by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, that takes place years before the original Dune novel. I've been enjoying this series a lot, and this is probably the most action-packed issue so far. It doesn't waste any time getting into the revolt on Ix, and it's also really fast-paced because we're jumping from Ix to Kaitain every couple of pages, and this is another advantage of telling this story in comic book form because it was really effective to see the carnage unfold and then cut to Emperor Elrond scheming and hearing news of what is going down as it's happening. It also shows the complex nature of the story because you have Elrond being pretty despicable, and at the same time, the reason he's ill is because his own son has his own plans to dethrone him by slowly poisoning him, and it all works really well. I felt really bad for House Vernius because they have to make a really difficult decision to split up because they'll be harder to track down. And just like in the book, Romber and Kylea are sent to Caladan with Leto because they'll be safe under House Atreides. The acting continues to be really well done, especially in these heartbreaking moments, and I really like the backgrounds in this book a lot. There's always something unique and interesting to look at, even something as simple as the trippy blue lighting in a ship that makes the book really pop. This continues in the Bene Gesserit section of this book, and this might be my favorite page in the whole thing because it captures them so perfectly, and it looks incredibly ominous. Helen Mahim gives birth to her child, and they test it to see if maybe this could be the grandmother of the Kwisatz Haderach. And it isn't, which means she'll have to go back to the Baron and demand another child from him. This is such an unforgiving part of the novel, and it shows how detached the Bene Gesserit are from humanity and the lengths they will go to see their plans come to fruition. This issue is also interesting because we're introduced to Kaiter Pilru, who hasn't been in the comic yet, but this was the perfect time to introduce him because he becomes a more important character in the next book. And I almost forgot about his role in this because this comic has been focusing on the main characters up until this point, but I wonder if they'll get into his brother a little bit as well, because there are a couple sections in the book with them before the revolt on Ix, and his brother left to become a guild navigator. So we'll see how that plays out in the comic version with 6 issues left. I also really love the way the Sartikar look in this. The Sartikar are the Emperor's soldiers, and they're seen as the most elite fighters in the universe in the first Dune novel. And they almost look like medieval knights here, so it was definitely cool to see a little glimpse of them, and I'm happy with the way they're depicted so far in this. So now we're finally getting back to Caladan, and I just really love the way this book looks. I can't say enough good things about the art. You really get a sense that this is a sweeping epic, and you feel like you're going on an adventure every issue. There are also 2 smaller sections to cap off this issue. The first one is on Arrakis with Janice and Raban, and I won't show you what happens, but it's pretty brutal. And then it ends with a more streamlined version of Duncan Idaho working his way over to Castle Caladan, and I'm really excited to see Duncan meet Leto for the first time, because then you'll have these 2 legendary characters from the first novel getting to know each other, and it's always interesting to read that, so I'm looking forward to more of that from this series. It's pure escapism, and I'm really having a good time with the series, so if you were on the fence before, I'd definitely try to track down these first 6 issues and get caught up, because the whole team is doing a great job with this book, and I think even Dune fans who aren't into the prequel books will find something to like about it. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content, and thank you for watching. Hey everyone, it's Ron here with a quick announcement. When I started this channel, I was reading and reviewing the Dune books and other sci-fi related material, and most of you might not know that I'm also a musician. So when I was reading these sci-fi books, I started to get inspired and decided to make my own soundtrack to use for my videos, and now I'm excited to tell you all about the first volume in the Ron Reviews original soundtrack collection. This album includes the first 17 tracks featured on my channel, and it's available now exclusively on Bandcamp. Be sure to check the description of this video for the link to the album. Thanks so much for the support so far. I know I'm just starting out, but I hope you're having as much fun as I am. So check out the original soundtrack Volume 1 on Bandcamp. This music is great if you want something moody and atmospheric to listen to while you're reading some science fiction. I think you're going to love it. Thanks.